Hey, and welcome back to some more ASD content on this channel. Today is a topic about people saying to me when I tell them I'm autistic, oh, I would never have known. And occasionally some people say, you don't look autistic. I don't know really what that means, you don't look autistic. I don't know what autistics look like. I mean, in the past, growing up, I've been told that I look like Ron Weasley and Ed Sheeran. But I think that's just a ginger thing. More recently, I've been told I look like Zach Galifianakis, which I don't particularly see. I think it's just because of the hair. But when people say Zach Galifianakis, I don't think they really mean him. I think they mean his character from The Hangover. I'll take it from there. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. Smooth takeover. I've also been told by a Disney Store employee that I look a little bit like Chris Pratt. I don't really believe her. I think she was trying to sell me stuff. Otherwise, maybe she was a Chris Pratt fan from Parks and Rec.
What does this do?
Not entirely sure it's so much to do with Guardians of the Galaxy, though. As far as looking autistic, there isn't really a stereotypical look outside of movies and television, where, unfortunately, if there is a character with a condition on the spectrum, they're always represented as either being really low functioning or really high functioning. If they're really low functioning, they're kind of represented as like a really big child.
Piggyback ride. Piggyback.
Warren, stop it.
Piggyback ride.
Leave Ted alone.
No,
Warren.
that's okay. That's okay. I'll do it. I mean, if you think you can hold me.
Are you kidding me? I mean,
Really?
he's 230 pounds. He can
Oh,
hold you.
all right.
You don't have to.
No, it's okay. I got a little disc thing, but it's all right. All right, here we go. Get it, Warren. There we go.
If they're really high functioning, they're kind of indistinguishable from your sort of stereotypical nerd, sort of Big Bang Theory style, fodder.
Where is he? Ball pit. Thanks for not calling the cops.
Oh, hey, it's no big deal. My sister's got a kid who's special.
Yeah, well, he's extra special.
Come here! Bazinga.
But in real life, it's not so easy to spot someone on the spectrum. When you're high functioning, you, for lack of a better phrase, appear normal. It's only when you're on the lower end of the spectrum where you might require a carer or a guardian to accompany you in your day-to-day tasks. Some people on the spectrum will have moments where they are overly stimulated by their environment. Most of the time it's audible, so you'll see them with sort of earmuffs if they are really sensitive, or sometimes you'll see people just cover their ears. And in some more extreme cases of these moments of overstimulation, you may see some people on the spectrum strike their own head. And I believe this is attributed to a thing called stimming, which is where someone will create their own stimulation to focus on, to block out the external stimulation that's causing them discomfort. In recent times, you may have even seen what are called stimming tools or stimming toys, an example of which would be a fidget spinner. Though it's not 100% clear whether or not the fidget spinner was designed for people with autism, it is useful for people on the spectrum to use as a stimming tool. It's something you have complete control over, the motion of it, the noise that it makes. You can start and stop whenever you want, and it's something you can focus on to try and block out external stimuli that might be overwhelming at moments. But stimming isn't something you'll regularly witness from someone on my end of the spectrum. There's only one visual cue that I used to give off that I attribute to my autism, but I'm not entirely sure that it is solely an autistic thing. When I was younger, I used to do this thing with my arms where I'd keep them up like this all the time, quite close to my body. And I think I used to refer to it as T-Rex arms. Sort of just, hello. I don't do that as much anymore, if ever. Like I said, I don't know if this is an autistic thing, but I have seen a number of people on the spectrum do this. When I tell people I'm autistic, it's rare that I'll hear them say, "You don't look autistic." More often they'll say, "I wouldn't have known if you hadn't have told me." And I think this is largely down to the fact I've had many years to build up a facade, to learn how to mask things that I think might make me look a bit weird. And I think in general that's because I can be a little bit introverted. I don't come across that way when I go to like events that relate to my interests, like YouTube events. I come across quite outroverted, but in day-to-day life I come across a little bit introverted, a bit quiet. When I was a child, they weren't entirely sure if I was going to be completely verbal. It's probably one of the reasons I originally studied performing arts in college before switching to media studies. Maybe I thought learning to act would help me be more normal, whatever normal might mean, but I think the real reason they wouldn't have known is because I don't give people enough time to know me. But acting normal never really lasts very long. That's probably why I don't spend a lot of time socializing. I guess the longer I spend with people, the more socially awkward I come across, or I run out of things to talk about that aren't to do with my special interests. This is probably why I often feel like an NPC in a video game. I don't really talk to other people unless they talk to me first, or if I have a quest. But I guess that's the point of making these videos, is to be more open and socialize more. It's kind of my way of using my voice and starting conversations. I'm hoping making more videos will give me more to talk about, even if it is still about a special interest. Just before I go, I think it's important to say that just because I have a condition on the autistic spectrum doesn't mean that I'm an expert in it. So you shouldn't take this video as a guide to how all people on the spectrum are. But that being said, thanks for watching, and until next time, peace and TTFN.